Hey there, guys, and welcome back. So, per previous conversation about the game we'll be making, the minimalist text adventure game based off of, or in the vein of, I guess, A Dark Room, I wanted to make a flight stick for our PCB. Well, not specifically the PCB, but for our digital joystick. This one's specifically the PCB version, but point being is we're going to go ahead and do that today. In case you missed that announcement, there are a number of things I dislike about A Dark Room, and I decided that it would be an interesting challenge to try to recreate a similar game, not the same game, a similar game. And I think that given the weapon system, how the weapon system works in that game, it makes less sense for it to be what seems to be, at any rate, just a post-apocalyptic scenario, and that seems to be more like a, in my opinion, mech or otherwise some kind of vehicle-based combat thing. So we're going with mech, and I need a flight stick to fly my mech with. So that's where we're at right now. For the specific implementation in the game, I only really just want a trigger button. I want to do the rest with other physical buttons on a dashboard style setup. But it's one of those things, kind of like the digital throttle we made. The digital throttle is like extremely limited in use. I should have honestly just made that an analog throttle, and then one of those things, seen how how tooth and tail interacts with the analog, how it interprets the analog input, whether or not it just treats it as digital or not. We probably should have just gone with that route because, frankly, a non-analog input doesn't really make sense for that controller. So, same idea here. I don't really want to have a controller that is just a stick with a single trigger button because there's a limited number of areas where we can use that. Now, that being said, it's also nice on flight sticks to have a Z-axis. I will not be adding a Z-axis because I am building in on this. So that is one thing we will not be doing to future-proof it. If we need a joystick with a Z-axis in the future, we're just going to have to rebuild the base altogether. Although, when we rebuild the base, we can take the joystick off the top, the actual physical joystick that you're holding, the handle, and put that onto the new base. So we're not losing out on anything. We can still use the handle here that we're designing. The last thing I wanted to say before we start here, as I just randomly circle around the joystick, one of these things where I really need to get into mesh design as opposed to simple, utilitarian parameter-based CAD, because the ergonomics of the joystick are going to be pretty difficult for this specific iteration. We're going to do our best. I meant to spend about 15 minutes trying to figure out how best I would do this, and instead I tried updating programs on my computer, and they all failed, and it ended up not being successful. Basically, one of these things. I mean, not to beat around the bush too much. As you can see, I am just capturing desktop for Fusion because all of these windows, that's a window, this is a window right here, this is a window down here, etc., etc., etc. Those are all individual windows, which means that my capture software, A, will not display them terribly correctly if I do grab them all individually, and B, it's actually impossible, as far as I can figure out, to get these because these are dynamically created, these windows. So when I click off here, it actually destroys the window. It's out of memory, and therefore my software doesn't seem to know how to find that. Well, it's one of those things. A, I can't add it to the window. If in theory, I could add it to my stream setup while it was up, then maybe it might go, oh, wait a second, that has the same PID as this new window created. Unfortunately, the second that I click here and then click off onto my stream software, as you can see, it disappears. So there is, as far as I can tell, no way. I was trying to reinstall, update screencast, and that completely failed because I'm hoping that a new version of screencast has an option to output stream instead of just capture. So one of these deals, that's what I was working on. I guess while we're talking, I may as well talk about some of the stream, or not the stream, but some of the project updates. Basically, the coiler decooler should have been done yesterday morning for stream yesterday morning. We streamed a dark room instead, and that is because there were unforeseen issues with the gearbox, specifically getting the gearbox hooked up to, well, first the gearbox. I made a mistake with the gearbox, a pretty serious error, lapse in judgment. I did not design the gearbox on stream because I figured, screw it, it's going to be simple enough, A, and B, it's only really going to be specific for my setup. Technically speaking, I probably should just go over it on stream because it can be adjusted to be used with different setups. That's point A. Point B is that after I was done fixing my design mistake that I made with the gearbox, which took me something like 12 hours and 3 different prints, then the whole entire idea of using rubber band with this setup does not work. The second you put any amount of load onto the decoiler, the rubber band actually just starts stretching, and it actually loads so much pressure on the input, so on the gearbox itself, it puts so much pressure on there that it actually stalls out the gearbox instead of turning the decoiler. In part, that is because the decoiler is a significantly larger radius than the gearbox, which means that it's got significantly more input or influence on the torque. If the decoiler was small, like the spool, I'm saying coiler decoiler, but the spool, if the spool was significantly smaller than the gearbox, then we may not have this issue. But as is, it is not working as intended, and therefore I'm attempting to switch over to a G2 pulley, a GT2 pulley. Problem is that I do not have any closed loop GT2 pulleys, so it took me a while, and hopefully this time it actually works, to get a closed loop GT2 pulley out of my random length. One of these things, I've never done this before because CNC machines, which I've used these on, you just fix both ends and you're good. At least all the versions that I've designed, at any rate. So I've never actually had to create a loop, actually seal up the loop, and that took a bit of work and a couple failures, but I think I've got it this time. So that should be on the way. Otherwise, one other thing that I wanted to mention since we're on project updates, I recognize after I made the announcement that I'd be starting this game development that the elephant in the room there is that I still haven't done anything with the stream animation program. That was literally not a problem to me in my mind because I had queued that up after we got done the decoiler. So in my mind, that was just, okay, no big deal. We're going to do that later. One of these things I can understand from a viewer standpoint. It's like, okay, so you're going to spend 1 to 2 hours coding this game when instead you could be doing 1 to 2 hours doing, the fixing the code on the streaming program, reworking the code. I mean, yeah, okay, I get that, but it's one of these things. Just in my mind, I like to set things out in order for projects, and in my mind, the stream animation program was after the decoiler, and therefore it feels different to me. I realize that it probably doesn't look different. It's probably like you're coding one way or another, but just because I set it in line in my mind, just because I put things in order and prioritize things, it did not seem weird to me up until the point that I realized after the stream, oh wait, I guess we have this other project I could be working on instead, but I just wanted to address that issue. In my mind, it's a completely different matter. It's, it's not just programming, it's different projects, but I can understand how that seems a little weird to be putting in effort to write code in one place and not code in another place when the other code has, frankly, been long overdue. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything. So let's get started. 10-minute intro, pretty good, pretty good. Not 20, but a little bit of coffee. So yeah, I was supposed to put some effort into thinking about how we would design this, and as previously stated, I give you the reason already that I didn't, so let's just wing it. Handle. So, a couple different options. The first issue is that what I would really like to do, let me bring this in for reference, and we'll toss a line straight up here from the base. Oops, turn you off really quick so I can see what I'm clicking. So for reference, why is that not straight? Oh, I guess that is straight. I guess my eyes are crooked. Let me move the monitor. Ugh, there we go. The monitor is now straight. It fell slightly off on an angle. So, for the record, honestly, how I would like to design this is something a little bit like this, where I do this spline here. Whoops. Alright, we'll delete that. Last one. There we go. So, I kind of would like to, one of those things, fine-tune the shape a little bit. But I'd like to do something similar to this, where I hit that and then just revolve this around. Like this. The problem is that that's not how a joystick handle looks, right? Like, a joystick handle is narrow on this side, so I can't just use a simple revolve or sweep. I think the best way for me to go about this is to do it in layers and loft it, is what it comes down to. So I think that's what we'll try first. Next question is, how far down on the shaft do we want this? How close to the bottom? I think I'm only going to come just a little bit past the threads, honestly. Let's think about this really quick. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet. So let me... how far down do I go on these threads? Actually, let me grab my controller really quick and check. So basically, I'm going to want to thread a portion of it, and anything below the portion of it actually needs to be a wider diameter just so it does not interfere with the threads. So we'll go a little bit below the threads and then open it up below the threads so that it is loose. And my battery is nearly dead on my calipers. Let's see. Yeah, that's super difficult to read. Let's see if I can do it anyway. Just remeasure that really quick. Okay, it looks about 7. I think that says 7.6 something. I'm gonna call it 8. So we'll anticipate 8 millimeters of thread, and then 8 millimeters of thread, and then let's go down like another 5 or 6. So that's 14. We'll round it to 15. So we'll start down here with the base. Gonna project out that guy. Maybe not project out, maybe intersect that guy. Body, that guy. Yeah, let's do body. So again, this bottom one, the hole down here is going to be slightly larger, just so that we don't have any issues with the threads catching or anything like that, scraping us the threads. It's one of those things, only really needs to be like a millimeter larger, and that's plenty of space. And otherwise, for the bottom of the flight stick, I'm just going to pull up some reference photos just to see how most people do it. So I am seeing some straight flank ones actually, and that's cool. I'll take it's significantly, I said straight flank, I meant straight shank is what I meant ones. That's significantly easier to do. However, it doesn't look cool enough. And it looks like they do put yeah, basically everybody puts a pommel on the end, for lack of a better word, a grip stop. So I guess we'll do that. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and do that at the bottom. We'll put a grip stop really quick, and then we'll start shaping the handle itself after that. And one thing I'm seeing on a couple of these, actually, you know what, I take that back. I was gonna say some of them prioritize the grip stop to the right hand side. I don't know if I'm going to be using this left-handed or right-handed, so I will not do that. And let's just go ahead and keep it simple and make a round grip stop here. That was tangent. I meant to do concentric. There we go. And I'm trying to do this more often. Actually hit the concentric button rather than putting the circle directly on the center dot. Just because I do run into a lot of issues where I go and delete something and all of a sudden the center dot, everything's all sorts of out of whack. So width of my hand, if we call it 25 millimeters, we should be fine. Definitely looks big. So this is gonna come up like, let's see, 4 or 5. I'm gonna go 4 millimeters. Yeah, sounds good to me. 4 millimeters sounds good. And yeah, I guess I may as well put this plane in here. So this is bottom of grip stop. Top of grip stop. And then we got ourselves, just go ahead and label that now, handle, sketches, grip stop. There we go. We're doing good. We're learning how to be organized human beings. Project this out. Actually, keep that there. So we said we had 8 millimeters before the threads, or 8 millimeters of thread, about 8 millimeters of thread. Let's see. We are 4 up. We did 15, so we're at 11. So we need to go 3 millimeters up, right? 15 minus 4 is 11, minus 8 is 3. Okay, good. Math on stream. So let us go ahead and get that taken care of. Well, do we want to? Yeah, I guess we have to. Okay. So we're going to start shaping the controller at this point. I think I'm going to keep it round for the time being, and then we will come back and adjust. Where is my tab with the pictures? There it is. And I'm looking right now just because some of them seem to arc forward, some of them seem to do a crescent moon type deal. I guess we'll arc forward is how we'll do this. So let us see. The other question is grip wise. All right, let's shoot for 30, either 30 or 35 on the grip. 35, I guess. And then the next question is, well, let's go ahead and put that in really quick. 35. The next question is, how do we want to do this? Because we can start designing the rough shape of it at this point. Oh, back to extra buttons. I did not address this. Some sticks, I noticed, do have side buttons, like a thumb button on the side. The extra buttons I'm putting in are only going to be thumb on top of the stick. like on the back side of the stick, not on the side. I want to keep the side clean. So, that being said, this 35, just one of those things, measuring out with my hand, just getting a rough idea. Yeah, I guess we'll do about 25 wide. I guess that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And then, how do we want to shape that, though? So, if I toss this in here, this is obviously a construction line that is supposed to go through the center. And then if I put an ellipse in here, maybe that's how we do it, just to keep things consistent. We can do that. And it's not quite the right shape, right? I mean, it kind of gets me a little bit of an interesting shape on the side here, but that's not going to be very comfortable in the hand. Yeah. Okay. What if I... Just trying to think of a way to round this, square this up, rectangle this up, however you want to say it. Because it's definitely not... The joysticks definitely are not circular. They're definitely more rectangle. Again, it's just a question of how exactly we want to go about designing that. So for example, here's another idea right here. Using ellipse, just because we're talking about ellipse right now. Could do that. And then this shape right here on the inside is what we're talking about. Yeah, we could try this. We'll try this for the time being. So I'll round that to 45, and the cross section, that one, 25 is fine. Okay, so we'll go with that. There is an argument. Why aren't you just using this ellipse? You know, call this ellipse 35 here and just use that ellipse. That's definitely an option. I'm actually not doing it because I don't want a straight shank. Like, I want it to be kind of interesting looking. I don't want it just to be a ellipse going upwards. Okay, so that's my thought process here. That's why I am not doing it that way. So that is our base. And again, we need to go 3 millimeters up as previously discussed. This is top of threads. This is, whoops, Control Z. Base of handle. And this will be top of, or bottom of threads. Not top of threads, bottom of threads. There we go. And here I'm just going to go ahead and project out those guys again. And that guy. Turn this off for the time being. We'll need to turn it back on when we loft, but make that 8 millimeters. And hit finish. Alright, and at this point now I can start shaping this handle. Now that I'm past this point, I could wait till I'm past the rest of the. Actually, yeah, you know what? Honestly, the top of the. So if we're looking at this right here, right? Back to, I'm going to be arcing this. If I turn on the joystick, this honestly is not a bad point to start arcing it. I was thinking maybe just start arcing it right now, but going up a little bit higher first probably is not a terrible idea. So where is shaft assembly? Shaft, do we have a, okay, we do not have a top of shaft construction line, so we will make our own construction plane rather. Turn that back on, hit that button, hit OK. Top of shaft. Gonna have to come back through and check where the music is at. I actually have it turned down a little bit on my headphones, so I'm not entirely sure how it's coming through on the on the video for you guys. Alright, I just realized we are facing the wrong way. It is not, it's a little bit of annoying. Okay, fine. Finish sketch really quick. Top of threads. Actually, you know what? I should leave some extra breathing room for the threads, so we're going to go up by, let's say, 3. And I probably, actually, let's see. Nah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We don't need to do that. So the reason we don't need to do that, let me double check that actually controlled Z correctly. Please. Oh, I forgot. You gotta click down here. Okay, it did control Z. So the reason we don't necessarily need to leave the extra breathing room is that it doesn't necessarily matter if not all the threads are in use. So if 3 millimeters of thread are not in use, we're probably still alright. I guess I'll find out. We'll find out what happens. It would only be 5 millimeters of thread at the same time. I mean, it would kind of suck if this broke, but it's an experiment. We'll see what happens. Let's come back up here to that one. There we go. And I just want to change the orientation of view. So, not a view, I guess, of view. Okay, we can do this. We can just swap these numbers, 25 and 45. There we go. Easy, easy. I guess the other argument, well, no, I take it back. All right. I was going to say the other argument is that the controller doesn't necessarily care. I just need to swap the inputs, but I don't actually feel like swapping the inputs. I'd have to pull the pins out, like the JST pins out of the JST holders and put them back in. So that'd be annoying. I guess I could unclip from here. I guess I could take the quick connects off and redo it. One way or another, I think we're probably just going to try to be consistent here and just treat this as the front. Actually, I have technically, according to the cube right here, this is the front. Right here. So we'd actually be facing this way. Let's see. One other thing I guess I should mention is back to control inputs. Again, the handle here does not care whether or not it's on a digital or an analog input. We're using a digital input because of the game we're making, but this could be an analog input. It could be one of those things. We'd have to change the base, but that should be it. We should be able to still screw this onto a shaft that we attach to an analog input. I've shown you guys analog inputs for controllers before. It's basically a cage with 2 axes that are set up to, or that are hooked up to 2 potentiometers, one on each axis. So one of those things. It's relatively easy to switch out. Well, I say relatively easy, but all the ones I've seen are for thumb controllers. Those are the ones I have sitting around. It's just taken out of old controllers or whatnot. Let's see. Would that hold up? I imagine it would. Yeah, back to the cage that just for reference, this guy down here, our actuator here, spring holder and actuator down here, the cage itself is maybe about this big, as big as this thing. So you're hooking up to the shaft, and the attachment point, it's got a little nub sticking out the top. The attachment point, that nub is like 2 millimeters, maybe 3 square. So yeah, attaching this whole entire 8mm shaft to a 3mm at best square, I don't know. It seems like it should break, but it's just something to keep. I'm trying to keep in mind here. Just something I'm considering. The alternative is actually to have an interseating mechanism that moves the moves the thumbstick. That's the other option. That way you're putting pressure between the shaft onto the interseating mechanism, and then the interseating mechanism is transferring that to the thumbstick in a, not the shaft itself, the steel shaft itself is not going directly to the thumbstick, so it's less likely to break, I think. So anyway, that is that discussion out of the way. Back to drawing. We are on the top shaft. Yeah, we're on the top shaft. Top of threads. There it is. Turn this off. I wonder how that ended up higher on the list than bottom of threads. That's kind of funny. I actually do not know. All right, project out that guy and that guy, and that guy. I think that's the right one. Let me turn this off just to make sure we aren't clicking the threads accidentally. All right, there's my 8mm. There's that guy, and there's that guy. Okie dokies, and we can turn this body off right now. We don't need this body. So there's my stack up so far. Yeah, and then I decided from this point we'll go ahead and start arcing. Sounds good. Excuse me. So let's see, where do I want my next arc point to be, keeping in mind that loft will do its thing. Top of shaft, let's say. So we need to go about 100mm, it looks like to me. Rough numbers, 100mm. 100mm should give us plenty of breathing room on there. And that should actually give us maybe up to 25mm, maybe up to actually 35mm before the grip stop, which might be too much, but it's where we're at right now, I think. And that will get us up to the thumb controls, is what that will get us up to. So yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Actually, no, I take it back. I'm gonna go 85. I'm feeling like that 100 is probably a little too tall. So we'll go 85, cut the difference. And this is going to be bottom of thumb controls. Okie dokies. I'm going to project this stuff out so that I can use the equals button. That is the point. We're not actually going to use these because, again, the shaft needs to arc. And right now, I am not doing any intermediaries. I'm going directly to the top just to see how loft ends up drawing it. Top of loft. Turn that off. Turn that off. There we go. So, this is our forward direction right now. That will be equal to that. Equal to that. And create ellipse like that, and make that yeah, actually I guess we can't make that equal to that, so I guess we have to come all the way back down here. And instead of projecting, let's turn this off really quick so I can delete it. Instead of projecting this, I guess I gotta project the lines here. That guy and that guy is how I gotta do this. One of these things, don't really use ellipses too often. It just happens to be an idea of how to design this time. And I want this collinear with that. And then we can set the distance between here and here for our arc distance. So let's see. Does 1 inch sound good here? I guess 1 inch sounds good here. And let's take a look at how that arches up. There's our our stack. Does that look reasonable? If I draw a line like this, I think that kind of does look reasonable. Surprisingly reasonable. Alright, let's get this loft in here. Loft. 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 That's all my stacks. Actually, what I should do... Alright, we're going to back up a second. These guys are not going to be here for the time being. Finish. Because Loft is pretty particular about random holes and crap, so we're going to loft up first, and then we'll go ahead and extrude those holes afterwards. Loft, there it is. Luft. Luft did not open. Luft, luft, luft. And luft. And turn the body on. And not bad, not bad. One of those things not super organic, but not bad, not bad. Okay. I'll take it. Join. Let's see, do we want to start playing with the shape right now, or do we want to get the other crap done? Well, first off, before I forget to come back here and fix this, let us... okay, that's right. Gotta actually make them not construction lines. Turn the body off. There's that. There's that. There's that. Actually, yeah. We don't actually need that one, right? That's the top of the thread, so we're not actually cutting that one. Yes, correct. Okay, so I can leave that one off. So from the base of the handle, we extrude up distance to object, bottom of threads. Turn the body back on. I think that is fine. It's a little hard to see at the moment. Let's hit OK and see what happens. I just wasn't really sure if... Okay, that does go all the way up. If somehow I missed a little bit, if somehow it was slightly off. Alright, now we can get rid of these two. Actually, bottom of threads, yes. Bottom of threads is the one we want. And distance to object. Top of threads, top of threads. Where is my top of threads? Oh, top of shaft. That is why I cannot find it. Cool. And that is that then, in that case. So, back onto, let's do the thumb buttons. So, thumb buttons. Most of them, if I recall correctly, and one of those things I'll open back up the thing, yep, they generally put them on a slant, not straight back and not straight on top. Actually, I'm seeing some of them that are right in line with the curve. So, that is an idea. The other option here is that I go ahead and put an angle, put a plane at an angle here, draw a plate, draw a little bit of a plate, maybe try to... Let us see. So we kind of want this actually to go straight flat here. We almost want to... So there's a couple things here, right? I don't see it on all of the controllers, question mark. Actually, I might see it on all the controllers. Nope, I do not see it on all the controllers. I can now officially say that I'm not lying. I do in fact see that we do not have a finger stop right here on the front side for all the controllers. I have found one or two that does not. Now that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have one, but I'm just saying. Actually, okay, yeah, here's meh. Okay. Let us see. In that case, do I want to draw that next and put that in there? Just toss it in there, and then come back and address the thumb issue. In terms, so the thumb plate does look like it is. Yeah, the thumb plate is definitely. No, see, there's a couple where the thumb plate is in line with the finger stop, the finger catch, the finger rest, whatever the heck you want to call it. But it seems like most of the time it is above. So I guess we can go ahead and instead of bottom of thumb controls, I'm going to call this bottom of finger rest, finger rest, finger trigger. Shoot, what the heck is that thing called? Part of gun that stops finger from sliding up. What the heck is that thing called? Anatomy, hang on. Let's see. Research on stream. 7. Trigger guard. There we go. Trigger guard. Hey, we got the name. Alright, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do the trigger guard right now. Trigger guard. Just project this out, and then I'm just going to put a simple little... Actually, you know what? Let's draw a line straight on here. And then I'm going to do a simple little spline line right there. One of these things, it does not necessarily need to be, you know, anything special. Only question is, how do I, back to me and my constrained lines. How do I want to do this? Well, first off, I guess I should determine, let's see, I should determine how far out it sticks. That actually is a relevant parameter. Is how far out it sticks. That does have some consequences to the design. Come on, give me the stupid dot. There we go. And let's see. How far out do I think this should stick? Questions. It honestly... I'm just looking at my finger now. My finger's, let's say, 1 inch thick. So if we just make this 25, I guess that's good enough. At 25, just looking at the spline line before I hit the enter button here, it looks like it's going to get pretty sharp, so I probably want to adjust that. Adjust the length of this guy right here, yeah. Probably don't want it that sharp. Let's make this perpendicular to that. Huh, that is fascinating. Why? Let's see. Yeah, I guess round about there. So, let us 2.5. Cool. I guess I will do this at 8 and equals, and then we can set this like this. Back to me and my spline lines. I'm sorry, I'm just annoying like this. 75. Make sure this is perpendicular. Well, actually, that should be, that line right there should be on that point. I meant to quinky dink that on that point. There's that. Quinky dink on that point. Huh. That is fascinating. Why? Huh. Alright, quinky dinked. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to perpendicular that. I wonder what happened with that last line. That should not have happened. There we go. And now we can go back in here and 45 these, or 75 these rather. 75. 75. Equal to that. And oh, I got to draw this back in. So we were calling this dot, please. No, dot, dot, dot. Sketch point. There we go. We're calling that 25. All right, cool. Looks constrained, I think. Yeah, I got my lock on there. I'm happy. I am happy. I also have coffee. All right, let us extrude this. Actually, make that a construction line to make my life easier. There we go. I can make that a construction line too. What the heck? Just make everything a construction line. And we'll just make this 3 millimeters. It's not serving any particular purpose. One thing I guess doing it that way is because this comes straight up. So like this finger guard right here makes sense going straight up. That's cool. This one though, this backside, I have seen that be straight on a couple of designs, but most of the time it is not. Most of the time that is flat. I guess we can always fix it later. Let's see. Do we want to fix it later? The other thing I'm noticing is that a lot of these, that trigger guard that I just put on there is relatively oddly shaped compared to a lot of these. A lot of these actually do not go out the full inch. I just figured out you put out the full inch, that way the finger can't slip past it. But a lot of these don't bother, it doesn't look like. I'm just thinking about it in my hand. I guess maybe one reason why you don't put it out that high is just because it splits the fingers up too much, but it's only 3 millimeters, so it shouldn't really matter. I guess the other reason is just save on plastic. Oh, one thing I have not gone to just yet is I do not actually plan on printing it like this. My intention at the end of this stream is to where are we at? Oh, there we go. Derp. Is to just split this straight down the middle and print it like that, and then have bolts bolting it together. You know, just run bolts through. Easy peasies. And also, I was also considering shelling it as well. So, you know, one of these things, just doing that. 3 millimeter wall. Going with that deal. Those were what I was looking at. Maybe not shelling this part down here, maybe only shelling up here, but that was the game plan in the long run, in case you were curious, because obviously I do have a big old overhang right here with the nub here. End of the day, not going to be printing in that orientation, so not an issue. Let us see. Yeah, so I guess I just make, at this point, I guess we just make, sorry to leave you out of that, the thumb button area next. Ooh. I'm just thinking right now, It does, I'm thinking the thumb buttons are going to have to be, so back to splitting this and shelling this. I'm thinking the thumb buttons are going to be put in after we split and shell it, just because that seems like the easiest way to go about it. Yeah, I think so. When I print this, normally with clamshells, when you split this in half and shell it out, normally you like have a ridge around the edge so that they nest into each other. If they're printing on that side, that is a little bit annoying. One of these deals, I was gonna say maybe I just fill it in. Maybe I just get some filler and fill it in instead to cover it up. But that would mean I'm never taking the thing apart to begin with, right? If I just fill that seam with something, then I'm never planning on actually servicing this thing, which kind of defeats the whole entire purpose of having screws going through it to begin with. I may as well just super glue the whole entire thing together. So that's an idea. That's something I need to consider. I guess for the time being, we're going to start doing, as I keep on saying, for the 5th time now. So let's see. Access through 2 points, I believe, is what I'm going to end up doing here. And I guess I will do these bottom 2 because, again, we're going to want this plane at an angle in line with this arc. So plane. So I kind of want a tangent plane here as my biggest issue. I kind of want this plane to be tangent here, but I can't think of, so plane at an angle is the obvious one, right? I just can't think of a good way to make this tangent, you know? To define it as tangent, I guess I should say. Yeah, and really this plane, so like this is probably tangent right here. This 60 degrees is probably tangent. Problem is that it needs to be tangent to the back line. And how am I gonna get there? Let us see. So I can get a point back there. That's easy enough. I can put an axis through the point. Can I put an axis through the point? Axis perpendicular at point. I can do that. Okay. We are going to play around a little bit here, I think. So we're going to Control Z. I am going to come back. Actually, I can just come. Let's see. I'm gonna Control Z. No. Not Control Z that far. We still want that. Here we go. Yeah. This is where we want to be. Alright. We are going to come here. I am going to intersect the body here. I now have this here. Actually, I have this here. You get back down there. So a couple things I'm thinking here. One, I think this is a spline line right here, so I won't be able to do it, but okay, yeah, I'm not able to do it. That is correct. That is accurate. 3 different things I'm thinking here. One, I can toss a point right here, right? And then I can give myself basically a localized tangent. You know, basically what you call it, math word I don't use very often because I'm not in that field. Gosh darn it, calculus, etc. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the localized tangent right there, I could take that. The alternative that I was thinking when I originally started with this idea is I now have this point right here, this guy, and now I can go ahead and axis perpendicular at point. So here is, that was not actually what I was thinking. Perpendicular at point, huh? What if, don't I need a face and a point? That's, what is the one I'm thinking of? Isn't there one where I get perpendicular to face at point? There's my point, there's my face. Okay. I was thinking perpendicular to plane at point is what I was thinking. What about this guy? That guy does not work as an edge? Okay. Alright, like I said, we're playing around here at this point. Tangent to face at point. Hey, there we go. That's what we like to see. Alright, nice. Nice. And I think I do need that sketch, so we will keep it. This is trigger guard. This is thumb, button, plate, tangent, points. There we go. Nice. Okay. No. What happened? There we go. Alright. Intersect this. Not intersect this. Do not intersect this. Let us see. How do I want to do this? Maybe project instead. Maybe come back, actually. Control Z. Before the trigger guard, actually. Maybe. Before the trigger guard. Do this. Yeah, okay. I think this is how I'm doing it. Okay. Project that stuff. This is not going to be correct, is it? Shoot me. Let's see. Okay, you know what? We are going to fudge this, okay? Not ideal, but it's what we're doing. Let us intersect that, okay? Yes, we are not intersecting. That is good. Okay, cool. Project. Just project everything really quick because we're fudging this. Turn them into construction lines just to get a rough idea. And then, let's see. How do we want to build this plate? Actually, I guess I'll take this guy. I'll take that guy as my start, and then I will build the plate from there. That guy, I'm gonna put a flat top on it, I think. We'll grab the center point here, keep that perpendicular, make that to there. Whoops, Control Z. That's interesting. So that actually acknowledges that these two are linked, and then in that case, since it clicked to the bottom one, so it treats that as a circle, which, you know, it originally was a circle, but because it's been transformed, I didn't really think it was going to treat it that way. So let's see where we're at right now on height. I guess we can go a little bit taller. How tall do we want the plate is actually a better question. So here's our holder. This is where our finger is. This plate maybe actually should be a full 2 inches. Maybe it should be 50 millimeters. And then this guy, we'll make it, let's see, I'm going to be putting the momentary switches in here. Just grabbing one out of my random assortment of things that haven't been reorganized yet. And these are, I want to say 18 or something like that. Nope, they're not. They're definitely not. They're 6. Wow, where did I get 18? Why was 18 in my head? I have no idea. Okay, well, they're 6 square. So we want space for 2 thumb buttons, I'm thinking. A left and right thumb button. Maybe 3 thumb buttons, but the third one could be dead center. A little awkward to print, but probably not that difficult at the end of the day. Yeah, a little awkward to print. Let's see. I mean, it's one of those things. It can be printed on its own plate, like it could be a separate part, and then we could glue it in to one side after it's done printing. And it's one of those things. It can be glued into one side and not cause any problems. So probably not that big of a deal. So either way, that's only 2 buttons wide. Let's make it 50 wide. Although up here, I was going to make it arced. So I want it 50 wide in the middle. Or towards the top 75%. 50 wide towards the top 75%. Yeah, that's fine. And then at the top then, let's get that number in first then. I take it back. So here is the center right there. There is a line, and then the center point of that line will be 75%. Centered on the little guy. There we go. And this I want to be 50. And then we can go ahead and do... Why is that dot there? What is that dot? Fusion, what are you doing? Fusion, go home, you're drunk. Do this is what I'm thinking. Yeah, I guess it's alright. Construction. Get these out of the way so I can actually see stuff. Okay. And then my idea was not that though, top of loft, to do this, to just loft this up again. And then when we go back in to create the trigger guard, then we will go ahead. Huh? Direction? Join? What's going on? Connected. Direction. connected. Oh, because I'm way out back here. Okay. That is why. Let's see. That was a mistake. Mistakes were absolutely 100% made. Yeah, so the placement of this plane. Bother. Let us see. Let us see. I probably should have kept where I was at before, is what it basically comes down to. So remember at the very beginning, before I did all that playing around, and I just threw a plane between these 2 points? That's probably what I should have done. We are going to regret our mistakes and live with the consequences. This plane is, or that drawing is no longer necessary. That is the trigger guard. We'll keep that one around. And let us see. Come back here. Access through 2 planes, or access through. Well, hold on, really quick. Let me just see. Can't. No. I don't have 3 points here. I only have 2. I don't have 2. I have. Let's see what this does. Okay, yeah, it doesn't want to click any of these. So I was correct about that one. That's good. And if we put this here, yeah, that's off on an angle. Okay, so back to plan A. Access through 2 points. And then plane at angle is where we're at now. And we'll cry about it. Plane at angle, click the correct option, please. Thank you all. And I think I said 60 is what looked good here. Yeah, 60 looks front. 60 looks acceptable. Yep, okay. Now, back up here. Let's thumb plate axis. Thumb plate bottom. No, that would actually be top. Thumb plate top is what that ends up being. This shape right here is going to be a little bit ugly, which is why I was trying to avoid it, but it is what it is at this point. So, project out. Let me make sure I'm not grabbing this sketch really quick. There we go. Project that out. Turn this axis off. And back to what we were doing before. Straight line. Perpendicular. Come down here. Click that. Click that. This is 50. This was 35. That to there. This here is 50. This is right angle though. Midpoint. Midpoint. There's that. And this is also 50. And then we toss our spline lines on and we really quick turn these to construction lines. All right, back to where we were. Took significantly less time. I don't know that this is the same shape. I think my numbers are right, but I guess we're going to see what happens here. All right. So top of loft, lift this up. Whoops, not there. There. Fascinating. Here to there. So that is the shape I want. It just doesn't want to give me that shape. Actually, I'd prefer that shape, but let us see. Trying to think of the best way to go about resolving this issue here. Nah. Yeah, it's not gonna let me, right? Yep, will not let me. Okay. All right. Here is an idea. Intersect this. Okay. So that is my intersection point. We come back over here. This is idea number one. I have a second idea if this doesn't work out. All right. This has in some way or form worked out, I guess. Let's play with the inputs really quick. Okay. The next thing I will do is come in here. Nope, not in here. Start a new one, I guess. Where we at? Not there, no. Where is... Oh, okay. Bottom of rear guard. Project that. And that line right there. Okay. Finish. Get rid of that guy. And try this. Hey. That's my boy. Alright. Alright. Now we're going to play with this because I did like the direction on this guy. Direction? Ah, you dirtbag. No. I like the flared look on that, but it doesn't want to give it to me. Direction with closed? No. Okay, this is takeoff weight is what I'm adjusting here. I wonder. Okay, I haven't tried this before, so let's try it. Project that and that. Okay. And turn you guys off really quick. Make sure you guys are construction lines. And toss this in like this. And bring him up like this. Okay. Create. Again, never tried this before, so I actually have no idea whether or not it's going to work, but this guy, which are yous? I was just trying to click that and that, and then center line that. Huh. Why? Why are you guys out the back? I don't want you guys out the back. Aha! Aha ha 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 ha. Yes. Join. Hey, there we go. Alright. Now again, I did say this was gonna look super ugly back here. Let's try to just hit the play button and see what happens. Okay, yeah, we can get it down to something not super ugly looking. 10, 15, 12, 11. Oh, 12 actually worked. 12. 13. You know what? Let us actually, because that's not quite doing what I want it to do, draft. Try this really quick. One of those things. Okay, no, I did not get the correct order. Boo-doo. Catch up computer, por favor, thank you. So that was the order I went the first time, so this order. Hey? Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Oh, dear goodness. That is not what I wanted. Alright, slow computer. I wonder, am I dropping any... No, no drop frames. Just Fusion being hilarious. 60. Okay. So this is an idea. 25. Alright. Might be slightly less obnoxious. 40. Let's see. Maybe more. Maybe more. And if I do this, okay, never mind. I take it back. I don't want that. 45. 50. Yeah, probably 45 is the most I can get of it. So that was an idea. The next idea was... Well, that was 2 ideas so far. The next idea was, yeah, okay, that's not going to work on that direction. Boo, boo, boo. But chamfer was my other idea, my other idea. Okay, it just plain does not want to work. Understood. Can I change the type to make it work, though? Nope, I can't. So it definitely does not want chamfer. One of those things. Well, okay. I guess in theory. Yeah, I guess in theory the draft was more or less what I'd get with if I was trying to do this physically. It's probably what I'd end up with. Okay, so that's where we're at. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Let us... Yeah, that is going to happen. I did knew that was going to happen. The only question is, how do we get around that? I guess the correct way to get around this, let us find the, alright, there's a trigger guard, really quick. Face of thumb button plate. Thumb button plate loft. Thumb button plate loft guide. Okay, this trigger guard, can I drag you down on the timeline? I cannot. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Because that is actually what I want to do. I want you, maybe? I want you at the end. So that you can see everything that's happened. All right, cool. Oh, so yeah, we got to intersect at that point. That kind of destroyed a lot of my constraints, but that's okay. Look at it. We can fix this. We can fix this. Yeah, this is easy to fix. Nice. No. The dot. The point. I want the point. There we go. And I am just not sure at this point why. Oh, that is why. This goes to there, and that is horizontal. So what is, okay, gotcha. Mid-planed here. That is the last thing, and then we should be constrained. Yep, we are. Good deal. So, plan is to come up from bottom of trigger guard 3mm, and we will simply loft the trigger guard up. Lift it up. Project out. Or actually intersect. Let's grab this first. And then project out the trigger guard. Okay. And then we can lift between these two. There, and join. And hit OK. Maybe I should adjust it to include. Yeah, you know what? We should. So I am going to delete that stuff. Turn this off. Turn this off. Delete that stuff. And we are going to redraw all that really quick. Midpoint. Right angle. Line between here and here. Draw that up here. Like that. Make sure that that is right angled to that. Attempt to make sure that's right angled to that, assuming the computer wakes up. Oh no. Oh no. Gosh. I mean, that's the best I got, right? I don't know what else. Ooh, my goodness, I'm gonna cry. Okay. Here's a blue screen while this restarts. Oh my goodness, this was literally the last thing I was gonna do, and then I was gonna call it for lunch. That makes me cry. Okay. I sure hope that it auto saves somewhere close. please. Alright, close. Fusion. Open back up. Please autosave somewhere nearby. Somewhere where we didn't lose too much work. Please, 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 please. Oh, please. Flight stick controller. Recovered 1222 4 minutes ago. Open. Okay. And we are back. Fusion desktop. Okay. So that is there. That is there. Alright. Alright. We did not lose anything. Save. Disaster averted. Okay, so all we gotta do here. I mean, I may have lost some. Did I rename everything? Okay, cool. We still have all those names. Top of trigger guard. I did not do that last time. Let's do it this time. And intersect. Not that. The body. Okay. Alright. Awesome. I am very, very happy person. Midpoint, right angle, line through these 2 points. Whoops, try again. There we go. Spline line. Okay. These are 75s. That is equal to that. This guy is perpendicular to that. Hey, it didn't crash. And then I should just be 25 here. 25. And let us see. I think it was this one is the only thing I need. The distance on that guy. So let's open. Thumb button face. Top. Grip stop. Where is... Oh, trigger guard. There we go. Wait, so where's my new sketch? My new sketch is all the way up here. Alright. We hold Control Z. Handle. There we go. Oh, Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. There we go. Now handle. Alright, for the 15th time now. Don't worry, I am not upset because fact of the matter is you can't be upset after top of trigger guard luft. After you got your butt saved by autosave, you're not allowed to be upset anymore. Top of trigger guard. Turn the body off. One final time. Centered. Right angle. There we go. That to that. That is 25. That is spline line. Okay. 75. That was 785. 75. Alright, cool. Did not crash. Construction lines, and now we hop back over here, trigger guard, and that is 2.5. There we go, and we are not constrained. What am I missing here? Let's take a quick look. Trigger guard. Oh, 8. That is what I'm missing. This guy is 8. And this guy is equal to that. One thing I will mention is that in theory, this shape right here is different from the shape 3 millimeters down at the bottom of the trigger guard. So technically these numbers maybe should be adjusted, but I'm thinking the difference is going to be so minor that I'm not going to worry about it. So you can see here how this is slightly more pointed on the one than the other. That is what I'm referring to. So this is going to lift up to a point, to more of a point. You see that right there? Because this is different here than that. The top plane, the bottom plane, etc. We could adjust for it. I'm just not convinced that it's actually that big of a deal. Add character, join. Okay, there we go. And now that lines up with the edges, which was the only thing we were trying to do. So, anyway, it is lunchtime now. So, we are going to eat lunch. One of those things, an hour and a half design stream. I don't particularly like going 2 full hours, so we're going to avoid that and go ahead and take a break. And we'll come back after lunch, maybe after lunch. I'll see what's happening in my life after lunch. And we need to just, at this point, get the buttons into here. So we will cut this in half, shell it, and then put the buttons into the design. One thing I'm looking at right now is that this actually the button plate right here does not quite feel thick enough for everything to fit in there, but that may just be my paranoia. The next thing I'm a little bit, oh no, actually I take it back. I'm not concerned at all about that. I take it back. Okay, cool, yeah. So long as the buttons fit in here, alright, we should be groovy. The trigger is actually probably going to look a little bit silly. We probably need to back this up. The trigger is only going to come to like right here. So this is actually probably way too big. But those are things we can solve in the future. So until then, thank you guys for hanging out if you have been. And I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I will catch you next time.